What's social boy phone the reaction? In today's video, we have Kendrick just opened his mouth. But I used to be paid. Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody hand him a Grammy right now.
Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone go hand him a Grammy right now. Of all the things
Yeah.
that Drake said about Kendrick Lamar in their battle of 2024, I think that was his most potent diss. And his biggest mistake, in my professional opinion, was not focusing on
You gotta cut this sky top off, brother. For real. Your ass got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your ass got 6 dreads.
that point more. Recently, Consequence, an online music blog, put out their top 100 greatest vocalists of all
Oh yeah, they put this nigga Kendrick one, I think.
time list. And Kendrick Lamar appeared on that list. And not only did he appear on the list, but he was number 20. The greatest vocalist of all time list. Kendrick was number 20. This was
Number 20 gang. We could look at the niggas they got in the graphic.
Kendrick Lamar appeared on that list. Great Consequence, an online music blog, put out their top 100 greatest vocalists.
Look at all these niggas in this graphic, and Kendrick Lamar is 20. Is we serious? Whitney Houston, you got this nigga up here with Whitney Houston. I forgot this nigga name. Like,
Kendrick was number 20. This wasn't a hip hop greatest vocalist list. This wasn't a rap greatest vocal. This was of all time,
of all time.
just in general. And he was number 20. Now, the definition of vocalist, it just means singer. And you're not about to tell me Kendrick is the 20th greatest singer of all time. But if you actually look, Consequence gave their own criteria for how this list came about. There are singers and there are vocalists. The best vocalists don't rest on natural gifts, but instead use their creativity and vision to push their instruments where no one else could go. So it's not about just who are the best singers, who have the most vocal range, who sound the best. It's a little bit more of the creativity as well. And going off of that criteria, I do see how Kendrick could end up pretty high on a list like that. Kendrick is one of the most unique vocal users in all of music, especially if we're looking in rap. Like, if we were to give this criteria and just be talking about rap or hip hop, I wouldn't even be mad if you put him one. Like, Kendrick uses his voice in so many different ways. He has the high voice, the alien voice. Like, he plays around with his vocals a lot, to the point in which some people don't like Kendrick's voice, but he is great at what he does with that. He uses his voice to tell stories. He uses his voice to portray certain importance on certain phrases and bars throughout his music. Like, he uses his voice in so many different ways, but especially when it comes to the storytelling aspect of his music. So in that regard, Kendrick is a great vocalist if you're going off of that criteria. I understand that. But when you look at some of the names that Kendrick Lamar is ahead of, it starts to get a bit ridiculous. He's ahead of Shaka Khan, Diana Ross, Amy Winehouse.
Whoa. Y'all niggas smoking it. Ooh, yeah, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Why do Kendrick, after this beef, this nigga Kendrick just been getting all type of accolades after he won this beef. These niggas gotta chill.
D'Angelo, Lauryn Hill, Prince.
Oh, the Laura Hill. No, y'all niggas sweet though. I hear the Prince.
Smokey Robinson, Ozzy Osbourne, Tina Turner, Luther Vandross, Kurt Cobain, and Stevie Wonder. There are other notable names that I could have mentioned Kendrick Lamar being ahead of. And, you know, I get the whole creativity thing, but you're not going to tell me that Kendrick Lamar is a better vocalist than Prince. Like, that's just, I'm just not going to listen to you. Kendrick wouldn't even try to start to argue that. So why would I listen to this list when they say that? And they say this came together as a survey of 50 artists, and then the people at Consequence kind of put the puzzle pieces together afterwards. But really, it doesn't matter. I'm not using this list as a way to get at Kendrick Lamar himself, because he has nothing to do with this list. He's just doing his own thing. However, this is an example of a repeated pattern of these major media companies, corporations, academies, industries, and everything else in between, and their undying love for Kendrick Lamar. Now, almost rightfully so, Kendrick Lamar is an amazing artist. He's a great artist.
Boy, look at your line, boy. Your shit slanty. Look at your line. Oh my gosh. Fire your barber. Fire your barber.
Now, almost rightfully so, Kendrick Lamar is an amazing artist. He's a great artist. But the reason I said that it was Drake's biggest mistake, not focusing more on the Kendrick just opened his mouth point, is because despite Kendrick Lamar being very, very conscious about these social issues that impact black people in America, despite him taking up some revolutionary imagery, taking up Black Panther imagery, despite him talking about letting the party die, burning it all down, and starting over the American game, despite him talking about the revolution will be televised, the major industries and major corporations in America love Kendrick Lamar. And if he was really a threat to the system, if he was really a threat to watch the party die and the revolution being televised and all of these things, he would not be in the position that he's in. America's media and major corporations love Kendrick Lamar. They love him to death. All the billion-dollar corporations love Kendrick. And if he was really the guy that was going to flip everything upside down, burn it all, and restart and revolution this, revolution that, he would not get the opportunities that he's given, respectfully. And sometimes this image is put on him more so by his diehard fans than himself, but he does play into it sometimes. And sometimes he's seen as a Malcolm X, when in reality he's a bit more Obama. And I can say that for him and my favorite wrestler of all time, CM Punk. CM Punk is, punk, but how punk can you be when you work for the World Wrestling Entertainment or a billionaire Nepo baby for that matter? I think
Yeah.
that this is Drake's
Yeah,
biggest.
CM Punk act like he's against TKO and WWE calling out them, but that nigga be buddy with Triple H. They paying him millions of dollars, like nigga taking pictures and shit. They said after that pipe bomb that nigga did in like 2012, I think, he was on a private jet with Vince. Like,
Missed opportunity. This right here. Because Drake started off the battle with Kendrick. They're going back and forth, whatever. It was cool, but Kendrick just took it to another level after Euphoria that Drake just couldn't really match. He couldn't match what Kendrick was doing. He went into this thinking he was going to win a mudslinging competition, but there wasn't that much mud for Kendrick Lamar. It's kind of like Goku and Majin Vegeta, that battle in Dragon Ball Z where Goku and Majin Vegeta are fighting as Buu is about to be awoken. They're storing the energy. If you don't know, whatever, right? Like, it's fine. But basically, Goku and Majin Vegeta are fighting tit for tat. If you don't know the story, they're fighting really, really close. But in reality, the whole time, Goku was holding back. Goku had another level that he could have took it to, but he didn't to save Vegeta's pride. And that's basically what happened with Drake and Kendrick, except Goku didn't save Vegeta's pride in this instance. He just awakened the new form and beat Vegeta. Drake went into this competition thinking he could win in a mudslinging style. Because if you look at Drake in the major battles that he was in before this, he was 1-1 in his battles with Meek and Pusha T. And the battle that he lost to Pusha T was because Pusha T had insider information on him. He won a mudslinging competition with Drake. He had inside information.
yeah, that baby shit revealing that nigga was hiding his child. Yeah.
And it was accurate. It was true. He might not have had a ton of proof, but it was true. He didn't come out with receipts for everything, but it was true.
But Duppy freestyle is hard as hell though. That be hard. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom.
When he rapped about OVO 40 being sickly, when he rapped about Drake hiding a child, when he had Drake in blackface as the cover of the diss song, whether it was in context, out of context, no, you got to look at the picture. Like, it didn't matter. Pusha T had the dirt, and he was winning the mudslinging competition. So Drake went into this and was like, okay, we gonna be slinging mud. Let's sling mud. And the thing with Kendrick was that he didn't really have anything. Yeah, Whitney and Dave Free, that kid might be
Yeah, we not gonna forget that nigga Kendrick did lie. Some Drake got a daughter.
Dave Freeze and the whole, abuse thing, but there was no proof to that, and we don't know if that's accurate still to this day. So it kind of just fell flat. It kind of just felt like Drake was just kind of pulling things to say, and
Uh, so I'm sorry, Drake. Yeah, you lost that Heart Part 4. That song still is garbage. What that nigga said? Mother Ain't that the song where you say you got molested? Oh, I knew that Epstein angle was the what that nigga said? I knew that Epstein angle was the shit y'all was trying to go for.
There wasn't anything to back that up. Now, some people might say the same thing for Kendrick, but you know, if you really look, there's some things that you can put there and be like, oh, this doesn't look too good. Drake tried to focus on breaking Kendrick's perfect image by throwing dirt on it, throwing mud on it, exposing the skeletons in the closet when he really should have went the character evaluation arc, kind of like what Kendrick did to him on Euphoria or on Meet the Grams. Because there just wasn't a lot there. And I think that this would have been the much better route, especially because the industry does love Kendrick Lamar. Whether you're a big fan of him, a hater, whatever, there's no denying that the industry loves Kendrick. Like, it's just true.
And
And
this nigga Kendrick, so what he's so anti-industry, like
in fact, he's probably a lot closer to Drake than he would like to admit, especially nowadays, because whenever he opens his mouth, he does get a Grammy. He does get these prizes, these awards, and oftentimes rightfully so. I'm not even saying that he doesn't deserve these things. He does
probably because the nigga won that Pulitzer Prize. That is crazy that Kendrick won that shit as a rapper.
deserve these accolades, but he is the industry's golden boy, for lack of a better term, a lot of the time. They absolutely adore Kendrick, and you can't talk about the revolution being televised while at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is the epitome of the system. It's the epitome of American greed and corporate interest and all of these things that Kendrick probably would say he hates. But at the same time, they're allowing you on their platform because you're just not a threat to any of that. After Kendrick spanked Drake and pretty much everybody who was somewhat objective declared him the winner, he dropped a song titled Watch the Party Die. And I love this song. I think it's a tremendous song. But in the song, he talks about restarting rap, basically, getting it back to its foundation because Kendrick is a rap purist. He loves the genre with all his heart. He dedicated his whole life to hip hop and rap. And he doesn't like the direction it's gone. He talks about burning the village down. But if you look at what happened right after that, he did multiple features with Playboy Cardi. And I love Playboy Cardi, and I love his music, but he's the party is very much still going on rapper that there's probably ever been in the history of rap. And that is the thing with Kendrick. I don't feel like anything has really changed. Yeah, Kendrick was the head of the table for a while instead of Drake, but what's the difference? What really has happened to rap that wasn't happening 2, 3 years ago? Maybe certain artists are starting to fall off a little bit more, but I don't think that this directly has anything to do with what happened with Kendrick and Drake. Maybe it does, and I'm just not seeing it, but I just don't feel that way. I feel like Kendrick kind of just did the thing that certain people do where they're like, yeah, all we need is like a black lesbian president and everything will be solved. And it's like, not really. It doesn't matter who's at the head of the table when the whole table's broken, So it's like, I don't really know about that. Sometimes Kendrick gives me, I know people are going to be on my head about, whatever. Sometimes I think Kendrick gives me the vibe of like the liberal girl who, posts all the right infographics, likes all the right posts, follows all the right people, and then they have a Trump supporter boyfriend. And it's like, yeah, you say and do all the right things, but you go home and
Yeah.
go home to that. Like you're in bed with that.
Oh yeah, Kendrick like a Hassan and Nabi nigga, like tax the rich, but you got a $5 million mansion and a porch. Like that. That's the type of nigga Kendrick is. Yeah.
Like somebody who should be your sworn enemy. Like it just doesn't, sometimes it doesn't connect in the way that it should. And I think that Drake not focusing on that more was a huge mistake. And I don't know if it's because Drake couldn't see that. I don't know if it's because Drake didn't care enough. I don't know if it's because Drake's not deep enough or he was just thinking shallow. He was just trying to replicate what Pusha T did to him. I'm not sure what it is, but it was a massive missed opportunity by Drake. And I just keep getting more and more examples of how potent that diss could have been.
All right. Make sure to comment, subscribe, and I'll do this. Kendrick just opened his mouth.